Hello, good morning. Welcome to my channel. This is True Moon Tarot. My name is FeleciaMarie, and today we are doing water signs, and I think I'm gonna have to move that because it started picking up the moment I was setting everything up. Like it wasn't burning that often. I've got some frankincense burning. So you know what? We're just gonna leave it. I have decided to try to start doing things differently and actually taking notes when I meditate a little bit beforehand. I don't always meditate. Sometimes it really just depends on how I feel, if that makes sense, on whether or not I'm going to meditate before I do a reading or not. It really just depends on how I feel, like personally, you know. And today I decided to actually meditate and take some notes. So I have notes in front of me here. Like I said, we're going to do water signs. So that's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, whether that's your sun, your moon, your rising, or your Venus. I am a Pisces moon, so I'm sure there will be some messages for myself. And I didn't really think about it, but if at all possible, any of you, maybe try and see what images you see in the smoke that happens to come up in front of the screen, you know? Maybe if you want to pause it, slow it down, you know, just whatever you feel called to do. So I did a prayer while I was meditating, so we're going to go ahead and get into this reading. What messages do we have for our lovely water signs? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Neither, baby. My dog just scared herself. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we have Magician, okay, yeah, so far, all these cards that have pulled up basically are going along with the notes that I took before. So, first of all, right off the bat, we have 4 Major Arcana cards, which when you have a lot of Major Arcana, it indicates that there is some sort of major life-changing event coming for you, which is also kind of funny because one of those is the Tower card. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Magician card, which right now, to me, that's screaming more of what you're aiming for, if that makes sense, like your end goal. And then we have the 4 of Swords, the Emperor, the Sun, the Tower, and then the 10 of Swords. So what I'm picking up from this right now is some of you are kind of just waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. Like you feel like you know everything about a certain situation, or you feel like you know everything about whatever it is that's kind of bothering people in your life, or that's kind of like, how do I want to put it? I don't know why I'm trying so hard to explain it. You really just think you're a know-it-all, okay? You think that you know everything that's going on, and you think that it's your job and your duty to, whether that's protect certain people, let other people know what's going on, kind of like maintain everything, you know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the Sun, the Tower, and the 10 of Swords are concerned, what I'm picking up from that, honestly, is that something that's going to happen, you have 2 ways that you can go about it. You can choose to think about the positive side, and you can choose to view it as your glass is half full rather than half empty. Or you can sit there and you can blame yourself, and you can play the victim, and you can be self-pity, and you can have self-pity, right? Or you can be wanting pity from other people. The notes that I have here, I'm just going to read these to you, and then we're going to pull a few cards for those notes, see what clarifiers we can get, stuff like that. So while I was meditating, these are the notes. I'm just going to read them exactly as I wrote them down. Your season is changing. Obviously, a major change is going to happen. You can think of it 1 or 2 ways. This one I thought was kind of weird, but I guess I should have mentioned the fact that the devil card was at the bottom of this, and the only reason I say that is because dragons and devils, most people associate dark things with dragons, or beast-like things, right? So, anyways, just as the dragon flies and breathes fire, you are destined to find peace. So, for me, when that came up in my meditation, it was more of like, you know what it is that you want to accomplish in this lifetime, right? You know, whether you consciously are aware of it or not, right? Your body, your soul knows these things. There's just certain things that when we are born onto this earth, our body just knows. Our soul just understands, right? You have that. You just don't know which direction to go. You don't know which path to take to get there, right? And that brings me into my next one. You are destined to find peace. Destiny it's almost like fate in the sense that it is something that is supposed to happen. However, destiny is something that can be changed, right? Destiny is all about how you perceive whatever it is that's happening to you. You can still accomplish whatever your quote unquote destiny is, but be completely negative about it, right? It's the way that you take things in certain situations and the way that you view them and how you let your energy flow, right? I got reality doesn't make it real, so that's your perspective. Nomads. Some of you need to go out and kind of isolate yourself. You need to go out and really truly take that time to reconnect with who you are, reconnect with what it is that you like, reconnect with what it is that you want out of life. Because once you do that, you will realize all of the moments in your life where you did take the self-pity route, you did take the victim mentality route, whereas you could have thought about it a different way and things would have gone differently, right? I have uncomfortable on here. And the moment that popped up, I was reminded of my aunt and my uncle's wedding when I was younger. My grandpa used to let me dance on his feet. And I remember always thinking that this was so much fun and that I enjoyed having this time with my grandfather, but that I was worried, I was too big now. I was too old. I was going to hurt his feet. I was going to ruin his shoes. I was going to, and if I ruined his shoes, that meant that I ruined my aunt and my uncle's wedding. Now, that is not the fault of my mom or my stepdad or the family that I know and that I love. That is the fault of childhood issues with the other members of my family. So that is not any fault to my mom or to my grandfather or anything like that, but that was how I took it, right? Even though I was having fun, I was still uncomfortable that I might do something to ruin such a fun occasion, or that I might do something to disappoint those people. When you have thoughts like that, it kind of puts you in this state, right? You stop doing everything that is you, and you start doing everything for other people. It changes your perspective and it makes you not necessarily view yourself as the victim all the time, because that doesn't always happen. But what happens is you disassociate yourself with a certain situation, and so it's almost like you're watching yourself interact with these people. And when you do that, you lose sight of who you are. You lose sight of the things that you want, right? So I was here, and as I was writing all of this stuff down, I kept seeing the High Priestess card in my head. And the High Priestess card is more of like the other side of you, right? It's more of like the things that you're kind of hiding, your subconscious's aspect and perspective of the things around you. And some associate it with your higher self as a completely distinctive difference than you, or your lower self as a completely different thing than what you here are, right? And so I put on here, you are blinded by yourself. Let your true self shine. By being blinded by yourself, you have all these dreams and all these aspirations and all of these amazing things that you want to do with your life, but you're not actually putting any effort to do them, right? And that's where the oh, I know what I'm doing. The Emperor, the not really action oriented aspect of it, but more of like the aggressive part. Like, oh, I know I can do this. This is the way things are going. It's my way or the highway, right? And that's not really something that's not a way that you can live. So the message right now is, if you want to reach that magician side of yourself and you want to truly be one with who you are, and follow your soul's purpose and follow the way that go towards your destiny like God intended for you to, or that whatever your view of God intended you to do, right? When you do that and you are no longer blinded by your ambitions, your ego, your pride, you're actually able to truly blossom and truly be what you are supposed to be, right? I remember hearing when I was growing up that the more you work towards something, the less attainable it becomes, because you're pressuring yourself so much into getting this one thing, or to doing this one thing, or whatever it is that this goal that you have. You're pushing yourself so hard that you're actually sabotaging yourself and you don't even realize it. You're burning yourself out. You're overcomplicating things. You're making something that was once something that you loved and you enjoyed into work. And yes, while it is work, it's not supposed to be work, right? You're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to have fun. We as people have gone from separating our social work outside life, separating it from our home. We've lost that aspect of it. How many people bring their work home and take it out on their family? Or how many people worry about work so much that they're just distant from their family? They're there, but they're not there. When that takes you away from everything that is you. It takes you away from everything that could help blossom you and help make you into you. The High Priestess card is at the bottom of the deck. So we are going to pull a few more cards, and when I separate it, we also have the Empress card, which is the opposite of our Emperor card as far as the feminine aspect of everything goes. It's also one of the ones like your, and actually in that Empress card, the let's see if I can find it. She is actually bringing the change of the season with her, right? So she's going from one aspect to another. She's going from one perspective to another. Here is the Four of Swords that we had earlier. So let's pull. Give me a Okay, so I asked what the Ten of Swords means for the water signs, and we have two opposing cards. We have the Eight of Swords, which is all about you self-sabotaging, the fact that you can actually get away from something. So in this particular deck, and this is the Crow Tarot by M.J. McCullen, we see the bird, the crow, is wrapped up, but it's not tight, it's loose. If the bird really wanted to, he could spread his wings. If he really wanted to, all he would have to do is just, kind of cock his head back, and the ribbon would no longer be on his eyes. In the traditional tarot card, you see a woman there with her hands bound, but they're not completely bound. Her feet aren't bound. She is able to break free. She is able to get the blindfold off of her and run away. These are your fears. These are your doubts. These are the little voices that you hear that tell you that you can't make it, that you won't make it, that there's something wrong with you, right? Those little things are coming from you. They're not coming from people around you. They're not coming from your guides. They're not coming from God. They're coming from you. They're coming from the devil side of you, the darker side of you, the victim side of you. And when you change that, then you will truly see that you can get rid of everything. My dad used to always tell me mind over matter. You can always control how you feel. And my dad was right. I was put on a ton of medication at the age of 13. A ton of medication. All these antidepressants, nerve pills, anxiety pills, freaking, at one point I was on 2 or 3 different antidepressants. Sleeping medication. I mean, I was on so much stuff, and my dad hated it. He could tell looking at me what was wrong with me, and it wasn't that there was something wrong with me. It was that I just could not figure out how to express what I was feeling, and because I couldn't, I ended up bottling everything up, and I was destroying myself from the inside out. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was cutting myself, I was hitting myself, I was ripping my hair out. I was doing all of these things to myself because I couldn't figure out how to explain what I was feeling. I couldn't figure out how to make somebody know what was going on because I myself didn't even realize it. And it took a few years, but eventually my dad helped me get off all of my medication. I have been medication free for about 9 years now, and I'm fine. I'm not ripping my hair out. Obviously, as you can see, it's a little tangly, but that's okay. I don't hit myself anymore. I don't cut myself. I have not thought about that in a very, very long time. And it's all about how you view what you can do. It's all about how you take care of yourself, which is why spirituality is such a rise right now. It's why it's such an important thing right now, because people are so concerned with helping themselves so they can help others, with truly figuring out who they are. That way they're not ripping their hair out, or they're not thinking about those bad things or thinking about all those negative things for themselves. So the opposite card here is the 4 of Wands. Now I will say this, it's interesting that we have 8 and then we have 4. Now those are both 2s. You can both bring those down to 2, correct? However, 8 is thinking about this in the way that I'm viewing it, when people are negative, when people are sad, when they are depressed, we feel like our emotions are heightened, right? They affect us more than how we perceive being happy or how we perceive being excited, right? They affect us more. They bring us down. It's something that is more disruptive to your frequency, right? Let's view it like that. It's more disruptive to the level at which your frequency is, right? So if you were living in this negative aspect, you bring yourself down to an 8, right? So we'll say -8 because you're bringing yourself down. However, if you are being positive, this is almost like a celebration card, but not a completion card, right? This is you won the battle, but you didn't win the war yet, right? When if this is occurring, you would go to a +4. So if you were at a -8 and you go to a +4, that's 12 points. That's 12 levels that you've gone up, but you don't view it like that, right? Normally you would say, oh, 0, that's only 4 points. When really you were at a negative, but you don't view it as that because it was more intense. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes any sense. I really hope that comes across as making sense. But so I asked about, what the 10 of Swords was. And it's self-sabotaging yourself, or taking what is good in something and seeing it as positive. Not letting yourself, stop playing with chords, you jackass. Not letting yourself tear yourself down, right? Let's do, what is one final message we have for the water sign spirit? One final message for our lovely water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. We have the Devil card, the King of Cups. So you are somebody who takes into account what you feel, right? Being a water sign, you're very, not necessarily emotional, but you're kind of I like to say the ebb and the flow. You take stock into how something makes you feel, right? You take stock into how something affects you physically, mentally, emotionally, if you have any bumps on you, right? So this is almost like a little warning. Don't let your temptations control how you feel, right? Don't let your fears, it's something that you have to work on. You have to find the balance between what is your fear, what is your subconscious fear of something or your subconscious doubt of something, and what is your actual intuition, right? Something that is, you need to figure out, if something's actually a doubt that you have developed in the back of your head, or if it's your actual guides helping you or trying to warn you of something, right? And that is a lot of hard work. A lot of people, I myself included, have a very, very hard time with doing that, which is why I tend to wait a lot on how I act about things, how I go about things. Okay, for some of you, the last and final message that I'm going to give you is that there is some sort of past that is catching up to you. And it's not bad. It's almost like, in order for you to have this final completion and in order for you to truly become who you are supposed to become, there is this sense of forgetting about the past, but it's not really forgetting. It's about letting go. It's about taking the moment and traveling from one thing to another. It's about taking the time to acknowledge what has been done, acknowledge what has been said, and to truly let it go. So that way you can go into this new part of your life. You can have this new completion aspect. You can have this abundance and this prosperity and the love and everything that you deserve that is rightfully yours. You just have to, you yourself, tell yourself that you're worthy of it, if that makes sense. And then the Judgment card is at the bottom of the deck. So this is based off of your view, your perspective. Do you believe that you are worthy of something? Do you believe that you deserve this, right? You have to change the way that you're viewing things, and you have to change the way that you see things in your life and how everything goes and it plays out and how it affects you. You have to make sure that you're not living in your doubts and living in your fears, and you have to go and change that to be something positive and to be something enlightening and to be something to where a lesson is learned, right? So with that, I am going to end this here. Yeah, that's all. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a fantastic week, as it is the beginning of the week. We are coming up on the new year, guys. This year went by so fast. So anyways, I'm excited. I see amazing things happening this year, this coming year, for myself and my family, and I really hope you guys do too. So bye. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm just going to keep babbling. Bye.